Hello everyone, welcome to Foreigner Farming in the Philippines. So, people were asking how the duckweed is working in the pond here. It's about 40% coverage. And it's coming all the way back here, down to that end. I'm going to bring one more full bucket down here tomorrow. And that's the last that I'm going to add to the pond. And I'm going to find some catfish in earnest, because that cage was left open. And I just saw a fish. There he is right there. I just fed these guys, and there are a few fish in the pond again. You can see them eating there. So start trapping them. I'm going to order some fish traps online and try to catch them. And I'm going to put a few catfish in here so that the ones we cannot catch won't breed much. So I've come down, I've brought all my equipment there, and I'm getting ready to go swimming, because I'm going to I'm adding a compressor here, and I'm going to put I'm going to replace the stones. Some of these have small stones in them. They're not all the large 10-inch stones, 12-inch stones, 14-inch stones, whatever these are. These are not the biggest 16-inch. I think they're the 12-inch. Whatever they are, there is at least one in every box that is not the large size. So I'm going to change all those out, and I'm going to add aeration to each one. And because they're just, I was down here this morning and I noticed them all on the surface. They're just not, it's just not enough oxygen. So gonna fix it. All right, mission accomplished. The way it worked out is, well, I changed all these short stones out. I should put them all in one pile here. So all these short stones, of which there were 3 that I got to anyway. I did not do that last cage because I ran out of new aeration hose. Got to go get some more. I guess 60 meters wasn't enough after I got done with all that up there with the breeding tanks. So I need to go get the rest of whatever it is they had. I tried to get a whole roll, but they didn't have a complete roll available, so I just got 60 meters. I should have gotten all that they had at that time. So there being fish in that pond is probably part of the reason why I'm having such a hard time getting complete surface coverage. I'm going to harvest almost all of the duckweed out of the round tank tomorrow and put it in here, and hopefully there will be enough in here that will grow fast enough to keep ahead of the fish that are in it. And I'm going to go see Jadell and see if I can get some catfish from him. This pond is still about 4 inches lower than it should be, but we've almost got it filled up to where it should be. So we'll get the breeding tanks finished. We have to put back in a proper spillway. We're going to well, the spillway that we had right over there has already been condemned. It's not using it anymore, but we're going to have to cut another one. I don't know, somewhere along that right there, we're going to have to put in another one. Because we're getting to the point, look, I don't want to get this pond finally filled up with duckweed and then have a very heavy rain. and have it all wash out because there's no spillway with the screen. So that's on the priority list, is finishing the breeding tanks, getting a spillway in this pond, and then putting in the rest of the grow out cages, of which there will be at least 4. I have to justify bringing in the big compressor, and would almost have to do it now, because these small compressors are just not, they're just not putting out what they need to be for rapid viable fish growth. I mean, yeah, they're aerating the water, but I can tell by the way that they're eating that they're not getting enough aeration. So that is a problem that's going to have to be addressed. And the only real way that I know how to do that is to bring that large 1 horsepower compressor down here and hook it up. We need to get rid of all this stuff here from cutting down these trees. I don't want to burn it where it is, because I know it'll burn too hot and it'll kill all these little limoncito trees that have managed to survive having Gymnelina trees fallen on them. So we're gonna have to move it somewhere and then burn it. I don't know. I was not pleased when that particular tree was fallen this way, when they could have fallen it in any other direction except this way, because now we have this big pile of brush here that has to be, it just can't be burned where it is. It's got to be moved and then burned. And additionally, what happened is I've been throwing out little sticks and stuff onto the bank. We finally had this pond cleaned out so that I could easily get the duckweed out of it if we could ever grow it in it. And now it's just full of little sticks and limbs, and it's just, I don't know, frustrating. So we'll get this, hopefully I can get enough duckweed in it tomorrow to get it to overwhelm these fish that have gotten out. I closed that flap there. I mean, it's my fault. I noticed it several days ago when we were stocking these nets. Everybody was tired, and that evening it did not get, that flap did not get pulled down, and so the fish that are in the pond have jumped out of that cage. I'm sure of it. And I noticed it, I've noticed it for 3 days that flap was open, but had no other reason to jump in the water, and so I didn't, and I just left it. And now there's fish in the pond, so it's 100% my fault. And the only way that I can see around this is to put a small fish trap in there in the pond itself, and try to trap them, and put some catfish in it, so that I'm almost sure that we won't be able to trap all the, and I don't know, there might be only a dozen in there, but that's enough. So if we can't catch them all, at least there'll be catfish in there that will eat the fry when they're hatched, and we can hopefully avoid that catastrophe of having 15,000-20,000 fish in the pond like we did when we harvested last time. A few dozen, even 100, I could put up with, but 15,000, there's absolutely no way the duckweed is going to grow with that many fish in here. And the duckweed is actually pretty thick down on this end. This is the way the wind blows, so it blows it all this way. I mean, it's thick down here. I mean, it's very harvestable, but it, you know, that of course, that's the hardest part to harvest back in there, because there's no walkway. Well, we never cut a walkway in there. So would require a long pole, and I just don't feel like doing it. I want the duckweed to be in that area, exactly where it's not, so that I can harvest it easily. So I'm going to really pack the duckweed into this pond all that I can to outpace what's being eaten by the fish that are in the pond. And so that I looked at it yesterday, and I mean, it is growing faster than the fish that are in the water are eating it, just not as fast as I think it should be, but it is gaining. So this morning, instead of bringing more down and putting it in the pond, I fed the fish in the round tank and the breeding tanks. I gave them the bucket of duckweed today instead of bringing it down here, and I should have brought it down here, but it is what it is. So we've got to get this cleared out. We got so much to do. Get this cleared out, get the slab poured, some kind of a lean-to structure here to keep to store the feed in, keep it dry, a harvest area. A lot yet to do. It's just there's more to do than there is hours in the day. Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.